Okay, sedimentation analysis. In the sedimentation analysis, we are in the last lecture we have discussed completely about the hydrometer method. Just from brief points, I will again explaining you hydrometer method. So same like in the soil suspension of 1000 ml, the same suspension is used in this hydrometer method also. So in this process, first we have to take this 1000 ml soil suspension in a jar. Now it taken into a constant temperature at 27 degrees centigrade. Next, after 27 degrees centigrade, provided a rubber bung at the top of the jar, and by using providing the rubber bung at the top, and move this jar up and down by placing this rubber bung. After the placing this rubber bung, after moving this jar up and down, automatically the soil suspension we get the homogeneous suspension. So after this process completed, so now this after this process is completed, now we have to start the stopwatch at the beginning of the sedimentation at a time 0. So after the placing of the jar at the place of the any place, so now we have to take the first time interval of the hydrometer reading at a time of 0.5 seconds. So before taking off the 0.5 seconds time interval, so we have to immerse this hydrometer before 20 seconds very slowly. We have to immerse this hydrometer in this jar about 20 seconds before the time taking of the any time sample before this time interval. If we take sample at 8 hours, so before 8 hours, just 20 seconds of the before time, so we have to slowly gradually release this hydrometer in this jar. As the as the sedimentation process goes, automatically the large particles are settles at the bottom. So automatically, due to the sediment of the large particles at at the bottom of the sedimentation tube or in this jar, automatically the due to the non-uniform this specific gravity, automatically the hydrometer is going through this deeper. So at the 24 hours, like this way, same as the more heavy particles or large size particles goes deeper and deeper, automatically due to the non-uniform in the specific gravity, so automatically the hydrometer goes again deeper and deeper. So like this way we can calculate, we can obtain these hydrometer readings at all times. So like this way we can find out this hydrometer reading. So this hydrometer reading we can use it into later like percentage final. So in this hydrometer method we can also find the particle size by effective height. In each process we can find this effective height by like 1 second. So like this way, effective height, we can calculate this height of the stem plus height of the bulb and the volume of the water to rise in the water level due to the hydrometer. So by adding this all matters, all parameters, we can get the effective height, what are the water level at the stem of the hydrometer. So like this way, we can get the hydro effective height, and also we can get the time. So whatever the time taking interval we are taking, so substitute the same time interval in this also. So automatically we get the particle size in this method also. So this is the simplest method among the pipette method. So like this way, height, effective height we can indirectly calculate it by the above formula, and also time taking is from this whatever the time interval we can take. So substitute the time interval in terms of seconds. Okay. So after this process, we can also find out the percentage final in the latter. So in this hydrometer method we have some corrections. So in this hydrometer method we have some corrections. So initially we have to correction for the meniscus correction. So due to this meniscus correction, due to the water having the soil suspension, due to the opaqueness of the soil suspension, so due to meniscus, so like this way, this is the hydrometer. The stem at the top we have the lower values, at the bottom we have higher values 1.030, at the top we have 0.9995. So like this way, so the initially the water layer, the soil suspension layer is in this place only, but due to this meniscus correction, so due to this meniscus, the water level is the hydrometer reading gives this level. So but actually the water level, the soil suspension level is in this level only, but due to this meniscus, the water level is appear at this place. So automatically what we get, so automatically we get the lesser value. So we can get the here at the bottom, while going deeper and deeper we get the higher values, while going to upper position we can get the lower values. So due to this correction, so actually the water layer is like this way, but due to meniscus the water level shows a higher value, so that means the lower value at the top. So automatically we have to add this meniscus correction absolutely always uh, positive. So therefore the always the meniscus correction is always positive, because it shows lesser values than the original values. So for this, the first we have to um, the first we have to whatever the hydrometer reading is get, we have to correct the meniscus correction first initially. So why? Because the meniscus correction is always positive, because at the top of the stem we have the lower values, at the bottom we have the higher values. So due to this, here it is lesser value, here it is we have higher value. So automatically what we get, so we have to we have to get this value. So here lower value, here is higher value. So automatically we have to add this correction. Okay, next one, correction for temperature. So due to the temperature, due to the actually we are taking this process, we are taking this procedure at the constant temperature 27 degrees centigrade. But in the temperature in the surrounding environment, we may not get the same constant temperature throughout the experiment. So we have to add this correction also. So due to increase in temperature, the viscosity of this water or soil suspension is less. Due to this less, the automatically the hydrometer is goes deeper. So automatically the hydrometer is goes deeper, actually original level. So actually, due to the constant temperature, the hydrometer may be stand at this position. So due to increase in temperature, the hydrometer goes this direction up to this level. So we have, so this higher value. So due to this value, so we have to less. So automatically in the increasing of the temperature, automatically the hydrometer is goes deeper and deeper. So due to this deeper and deeper, automatically we get the lesser values. So we have to, when we get the lesser values, we have to add this positive correction. Whenever the temperature is more, automatically the temperature correction is positive. So like this way, whenever the temperature is less, and the correction for the hydrometer reading is negative. Okay, once again I'm repeating you. So due to temperature, due to increasing of the temperature, the specific gravity of the liquids is changes. Automatically the hydrometer is goes deeper and deeper. So but general condition, the hydrometer reading is like this, in this position only. Okay, so automatically what we get, so actually we get this value, but we get this value. So automatically we get lesser values. So because of on the stem of the top position, we have lesser values, 0.995 at the top value, and 1.030 at the bottom value. So due to this increase in temperature, the hydrometer is goes deeper. So due to this, so we have to add this correction is positive. Like this, for in the if the temperature is less, automatically the hydrometer is does not goes deeper and deeper. So the standard value we get not give correct value. So we have to add this correction as negative. So therefore the temperature correction is always positive, or negative is not. So the correction for temperature changes according to the temperature. So may not positive or may not negative, it may changes according to the temperature. Next one, correction for dispersing agent. Now we have to add the correction for dispersing agent also. So actually the soil suspension has some roughness value. So due to adding of dispersion, it gives a very smooth, it may get lubricant. So due to this lubricant, so automatically the hydrometer gives automatically hydrometer goes deeper and deeper. So due to this hydrometer goes deeper and deeper, we get the more values. So we get the more values, we have to add this dispersion correction also is negative. Okay, additional dispersing agent correction increases its density of the sample. So whenever the density of the sample increases automatically, so this causes more values than the actual. So it causes more values actual than the actual. So automatically the correction for this dispersing agent will be mostly and should be negative only. So in order to find this individual correction, we have to find out the total correction. So meniscus correction. So this meniscus correction can be calculated by taking this hydrometer reading in a distilled water. How much water is at the meniscus? We can easily calculated by its pure distilled water. So temperature correction is before we can calculate the and make it into a table. So dispersing agent correction is calculated by the without dispersing agent on the water. With the dispersing agent water, we can easily calculate this dispersing agent correction also. Okay, next one, the relation between, so in the above hydrometer method we can get the only particle size directly. So in pipette method we can get the particle size, and also you can get the particle size like this way, and also hydrometer get by, so initial weight of the soil by at the time of the sample taking soil weight, so we can get the percentage final. In this hydrometer method we can also indirectly it's we can get the percentage final by like this way. So this procedure may is a very long process, that's why I'm not noted down very point to point, just I give only direct expression. So like percentage final is the relationship between percentage final and hydrometer reading is like this way. N is equal to G by G minus 1 into R by uh, WS into 100. Where okay, so where R means hydrometer reading. Okay, okay. Next to where WS means weight of solids. Okay. Next one, limitations of the sedimentation analysis. This is the most important, generally asking in the previous question papers like previous exams. So what are the limitations for sedimentation analysis? First, it gives only particle size. It gives particle size in terms of equivalent diameter in terms of spherical, but in actual practice particles are not spherical. Okay, in the Stokes law sedimentation analysis, we're taking the particle as a sphere, but the but the in the as the sedimentation analysis, the particles or the clay particles are needle shape or maybe angular type shape of the particles are present in the soil suspension. So like this way, we cannot get the direct very accurate particle size, but we get the particle size in terms of equivalent diameter. Okay, first limitation is in the sedimentation analysis. This next one, the in this sedimentation analysis or in pipette method or hydrometer method, we are using the specific gravity is same for all solids. Okay, but the specific gravity is different for different particles. For example, for particles, some particles have 2.65, some particles have 2.7 times, some particles are 2.8. Like different particles have having different type of specific gravity. So generally we are taking only one specific gravity value like 2.65 to 2.7. So we are taking only one specific gravity value, that is 2.7. And also Stokes law is applicable when the liquid is infinite. So for this in the Stokes law assumptions, the liquid is infinite. That means, so whenever the taking any water, so there is no obstruction at the bottom, there is no obstruction to the sides also. Okay, అంటే ఏంటంటే అర్థం, సో ఎప్పుడే ఇన్ ద సెడిమెంటేషన్ అనాలిసిస్ లో స్టోక్స్ లా యొక్క అజంప్షన్స్ ఏంటంటే, సో ఒక పార్టికల్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు ఆ పార్టికల్ అనేది ఇటు వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు ఇటు ఇక వెళ్తూనే ఉండాలి, ఎక్కడ దీనికంటూ అడ్డంగా ఏమి ఉండకూడదు. అదేవిధంగా ఇటు సైడ్ కూడా తీసుకున్నప్పుడు కూడా పార్టికల్ కి ఇటువైపు ఎటువంటి అడ్డం ఏమి ఉండకూడదు, ఇటువైపు కూడా ఎటువైపు చూసినా సెమీ ద లిక్విడ్ ఈస్ ఇన్ఫినైట్. సో ఆటోమేటిక్ గా వాటర్ ఆ సాయిల్ పార్టికల్ అనేది పోతూనే ఉండాలి, సో ఎక్కడ అబ్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఉండకూడదు. బట్ బట్ మనకేంటి, బట్ ఇన్ ది సెడిమెంటేషన్ అనాలిసిస్ we are taking the in the walls of a jar, we are taking jar like this jar, or maybe in the pipette method we are taking the in the sedimentation. In all this process we having the walls of the glass. So due to this walls, the values may get not correct values. So Stokes law is not applicable. So due to this, liquid is infinite, but in this the liquid is finite. So at the after the some distance pass goes down, after some After the some distance is goes, automatically we have the obstruction of a glass wall. At the bottom also, whenever the particle is goes down, automatically we have the obstruction of glass wall. So due to this, the Stokes law is not valid for this pipette method and hydrometer method. Next one, Stokes he assumed that the individual particles are settles, but in practice the particles are aggregates to each other. So I will give you example for this. Actually, in Stokes law, only one individual particles are settles down in individual way. Okay, so there is no contact between the each particle, but in the sedimentation process, more number of particles are more, a heavy number of particles are present. So sometimes some particles are very contact to each other, and both together travels same at the same place and contact to each other and settles at the bottom. So in this time also the sedimentation analysis is having the some limitation. Okay, so next one, Stokes law is not valid when the particle size is greater than 0.2 mm. So generally Stokes law is not valid when the particle size is greater than 0.2 mm because of turbulent conditions. So, you know the laminar flow, turbulent flow. Like the particle, whenever the particle is in the soil having particle size greater than 0.2, it does not sedimentation analysis is not useful because of the particles having turbulent conditions, because the flow should be laminar only. Okay. Then next, the Stokes law is not valid when the particle size is less than 0.2, 0.2 micron because of the Brownian moment. So whenever the particle size is less than this particles, it does not settles at the bottom. It will continuously rotate at the top and bottom, like so it's continuously travel along the zigzag way. So it does not goes to deeper and deeper because of this small particle size. It moves like anyway. So for this process also Stokes law is not valid when the particle size is less than 0.2. మీకు దీనికి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏం చెప్తున్నా అంటే, ఒక మీరు వాటర్లో ఒక ఏదైనా కాయిన్ తీసుకున్నా కానీ, ఒక బ్లేడ్ తీసుకున్నా కానీ వాటర్లో వేయండి. ఆ బ్లేడ్ కానీ వాటర్ కానీ వాటర్లో వేసినప్పుడు డైరెక్ట్గా దిగదు, అటు ఇటు అటు ఇటు అటు ఇటు తిరుక్కుంటూ తిరుక్కుంటూ పోతుంది. సో లైక్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్గా బ్రౌనియన్ మూమెంట్ అంటే అది అలా తిరుగుతుంది. అలా తిరిగితే మనకి స్టోక్స్ లా అనేది వ్యాలిడ్ అవ్వదు. అండ్ ఆల్సో ద స్టోక్స్ లా అనాలిసిస్ నాట్ యూజ్డ్ ఫర్ chalky soils. So because of the so sedimentation analysis also not used for the chalky soils also. Okay, next one. So next topic is combined sieve and sedimentation analysis. So generally any soil we have coarse grained particles and also fine grained particles also. So generally whenever we take in soil, so coarse grained particles or fine grained particles both are concentrated at a for a soil. So whenever these both particles are come together or in the particles in a soil, so automatically we can go for combined analysis. So for this combined analysis, the procedure is like this way, same like this way. Whenever the particles having the fine particles, first we have to add this water, and we can add the dispersing solution like a sodium hexametaphosphate. So at the 2 grams of per liter of water, stir about 1 hour. After the suspension is sieve through 4.75 mm sieve, whatever the fraction which is retained on the 4.75 mm, it is taken into oven tray and it is taken into a set of gravel fraction. Whatever the sample which is passing through the 4.75 mm sieve, it is known as sand fraction. Then it is again this sand fraction is again saving through the 75 micron. Whatever the particles which are again retained on the 75 micron is taken into a set of fine sieves. Before taking into set of fines, we have to oven dry. Okay, after the oven dry process, we have to go through the set of fine sieves. Whatever the material still passing through the 75 micron, we have to go through the sedimentation analysis. If any before we cannot any dispersion solution, we have to add this dispersion solution, and again whatever the particles which are passing through the 75 micron, we have to take 1000, we have to prepare 1000 ml of soil suspension. And after the soil suspension preparation, we have to go pipette method or hydrometer method, whatever the method which you are taking. So like this way we can find out this particle size particle size analysis. So the percentage finer than any size, the percentage finer than any size can be calculated on the base of original mass of the soil taken for the combined analysis. Like that means whenever percentage final will be calculated, right? It's initially what we can take 50 grams of soil, I think. whatever the soil sample taken, or maybe take 1 kg or any 50 grams. So whatever the soil sample taken, we can take the at the initial. So at the soil original mass, whatever the taking at the starting, so take this original mass at the bottom. Whatever the samples or the soil we can take at the numerator. So like this way we can find the percentage finer at the any stage. Okay.